Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com. As I'm sure many of you guys know from tuning in from the other episodes of this series, I'm currently going through a huge purge of my crafty stash to finally let go of things I won't use or don't need or no longer serve me. And today's sort of a cumulative video of more things I found that I am going to part ways with and donate. And I'm super excited to donate all of this stuff to my local organization, which I've talked about before. But if you guys haven't seen the prior videos, definitely check out the long list that's down below so you don't miss out, as well as check out my Patreon if you're interested in seeing a bunch more behind the scenes and more of my packing, you know, how things are shaping up. By the time you're watching this, I should be in my new space and new organization videos should be coming soon. But until then, hopefully you guys enjoy all of these purging videos because it has been really a blast. And I know a lot of you guys have enjoyed them too. And I'm so thankful that several of you guys were able to sort of go on the journey with me through different topics. But I thought I'd do a cumulative one because sometimes you just go through your stash and things aren't where they normally are, or you find something in a random spot and you're like, I don't need that anymore. So I have a bunch of different random things here that I thought we'd go through. And some of these might shock you, some of these might be like, oh, that makes sense. So I just thought we'd go through them today just to cover some of the bases we might have missed prior or might relate to in other ways to you. First off is this 110-pound cardstock pack in the elementary color set from Recollections. These just aren't my colors. As you can tell here, there are bright yellow, orange, blue, and green. Of course, they're out of focus, but just not my color scheme. I used a few of them. I'm going to donate these. Great card bases, just not my typical color scheme, so I have a hard time using those. Very hard time. Along that lines, I have more 8.5 by 11 paper. I have this set of cardstock again. This one is from the Paper Company, which I believe is what Joann's used to sell before they got their new type of line. I have 2 of these packs, and I really should never have opened this one because I have plenty of these papers, so I'm going to pass that one along as well. And then I had some pattern 8.5 by 11 paper, which I didn't go through because it was really not too many sheets. Not worthy of a whole video, but these are some of the ones I'm passing on. Not my style. It even has like the name brand print copyrighted onto it, so you know it like came in one of those like crafty magazines, and then these vintage ones, which we've already talked about before. Then I had about like 50 of these textured ones, so I parted ways with some of them because I simply don't need all of them in my stash. Next up, we'll dive into this chipboard sheet. Now, some of you guys might remember this. I did use it. I have used quite a bit of it, but it used to hold up my thickers, and that's the only purpose it really had in my space, was to hold up my thickers as sort of a backing board because they were like in an open unit, so they would flop over. And that's not what my supply should be doing. None of these really excite me anymore. Again, I have used some of them over the years, but this Bo Bunny chipboard sheet will be passed on. Lots of stickers still to be used. But it was cute, but no longer serving a purpose for me. Next up are these Marvy pens. These were a big thing back in the day if you didn't have lots of stamp ink colors. So if you didn't have any ink pads, you could use these markers to stamp with. To be honest, that method never worked really well. Like you'll see here, they're rubbing it onto the rubber stamp. It works decently, so I have 2 colors of those. Do these have like, oh, we have primary, and then this one's missing its backer sheet. I'm not surprised. But there's 108 colors in total, it seems, so we have 2 sets here. I believe all of these work, but I am going to test them before donating them because nobody wants to go through dry markers. So I am going to test these, and they have a perfect brush tip for those who might want to do brush lettering, or they have an extra fine tip, which could be good for just people who want a bullet journal. So those will be great at the local charity I'm gifting to. I already talked about this with my patrons, but this is an 8x8 expandable project album by SEI. I have no idea where this came from. It comes with page protectors, and obviously these page protectors won't be easy to find anymore since this is an older product, because I don't think SEI is available anymore. Again, I have no idea where this came from. I wish there was a year on it. There is not, but I'm going to pass this album on. I know that there's going to be someone who's going to love it and can make their own scrapbook, and that's going to be how we introduce more people into this hobby, is just by giving them opportunities to try it. So I'm excited to pass that along. And then these are actually looking very dirty, which means they're old, but the bottom here, and it'll be hard to see, but these are some really old vellum pieces I've had. This one's got the ornaments at the top. It's Christmas themed. do some ornament looks there, and then a polka dot across the back. And this one's travel themed, so here at the bottom we have suitcases and then film strip up the side. Do I have this one upside down? I can't tell which way's up, but you can kind of see it. It's frosted, obviously, so it's a bit harder to see. But I'm passing those two vellums on. I think they're the only like big 12 by 12 vellum old stuff that I have. I have a couple new sheets that I've kept though. And I'm also passing along this acetate scene, which is from Fancy Pants, and it is just clouds and like grass and a little path. It reminds me of Blue's Clues a lot, so hopefully someone can use this as well in their crafting and art journey. Then I had a couple little things before we get into these big things over here. Some of these wood pieces, I used to love these things from Michael's because you get them for like 25 cents on clearance, but they're not my cup of tea, and I know these will go great on some kids projects or for some science projects, so I'm excited to pass those along. And then I found this set of brads, which I didn't know existed in my stash, and these were passed along to me a while ago, and I think I've used maybe 2. The rest were already pre-used, so I'm also passing these along. I thought I would use the hexagons more, and then I never did, so this is me giving up on them. And I don't really have a huge stash of brads, so I don't mind, you know, passing those along. It's not like I love brads. But moving into 2 of the probably bigger kickers for some of you, this set right here is a little organizer that sat in my closet and sat in my closet and sat in my closet. And I haven't touched a single one of these. Now, if you don't know what these are card bases, some of which come with envelopes. So here we have some envelopes, more card bases, card bases, card bases. Okay, these are all card bases. Some of them are with their matching envelopes, like these craft envelopes are matching. I'm going to donate these. There's also some washi tape in there that's going to go with them from IKEA. I really like that washi tape when I first got it because it like says love and it says these nice things that you can put on the outside of a package. So that's why I originally liked it so much. But these are the flimsier card bases. I never reach for them. There's like beautiful colored ones and I just never go for it. So I think it's time that I pass them on. And this will be, again, a great jump start for someone who might want to get into the hobby. And it'll be readily accessible to so many. So hopefully we get some new card makers on the market soon with this type of kit. So they could either kit these out and do like projects with kids, you know, to teach them about sending mail, or, you know, there's lots of options, but I know they'll appreciate these. And the bin will probably go with it just because it's nice and solid and organized. And I don't see a reason not to. I mean, it's a nice bin, but these are readily available and it's nice and easy the way it is right now. And then 2 other things. This one I moved off to the side. This is my heat tool. This was one of the first things I ever bought from Hobby Lobby, I believe. So this is the Paper Studio embossing heat tool. I've probably had this for 10 years practically. So I think it's time I let it go. And I think I'm going to eventually upgrade to something that can do a bit more. This has a lot of push behind it, but it's not great at the heating element. It often just pushes my embossing powder around, so I need something a bit more substantial to work with if I'm embossing or if I want to use it for mixed media. So I'm going to pass this along. Still works, still heats up, still blows obviously. So I'm going to pass this along and hopefully they can utilize this type of tool for their drying projects. Obviously there's a lot of things you can do with a heat tool, so I'm really hoping they appreciate that. And lastly, this one might break some people's hearts because I know there's some huge Project Life fans out there, but this is the Happy Edition Project Life, and this was the first one I bought. And I remember getting into Project Life, I bought all the stuff, and I never did Project Life the way Project Life is supposed to be done, as I'm sure many of you knew when I first bought it and I was in college. It was just about getting more photos into pockets than anything so I could do it faster, and I really enjoyed working with it. It always does this when it falls into the falls down on its luck here, so it gets a little reorganized every so often. I've taken several of the cards out of here and have used them and have them in other places, so I'm not fully parting with the kit, but I don't need all of these repetitive cards in my life. And again, I'm sure there's several people out there who would die to have this, but I think introducing it to a group that is not necessarily into these kind of things or doesn't have these readily available will open the eyes to so many about this hobby. And, you know, Project Life's a different take on this hobby, so hopefully this will make someone happy and they'll be able to make an album with it, or they'll be at least able to make projects with it. And kids could have fun with these cards. You know, it could be like a memory game they make themselves. There's so many fun things they can do, so hopefully they enjoy it. But I am passing this whole thing along. And again, hopefully someone can enjoy it more than I have been. I've been neglecting it. Let's be honest, a lot of this stuff I've been neglecting. To be honest, I can't tell you the last time I used my heat tool, so I won't be updating or upgrading right away, but I do want to make sure that, you know, passing these things along should be a bigger part of the process than we actually realize, because again, it gives other people an opportunity to try out a new hobby and then get hooked on it and then join the scrapbooking realm, as I'm sure many of you guys did back in the day. For those of you who've been here a while, you just get hooked on it, and some people just need more of the what is scrapbooking nowadays versus what it used to be, because I think there's a big difference nowadays. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Obviously, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I know that they're super duper excited to see it all come in to the location I'm bringing it. I have my appointment all set up, and I've already donated it by the time you're watching this, so I'm super excited to pass it along and see, you know, what kind of difference it makes. But I'm just super duper happy to be getting rid of it. I can't express that enough. It's not necessarily about making the space, but it's having the room in my mind to make room for more creative ideas, rather than thinking like, oh, I have this huge bin of stuff I'm never going to use. Why? Well, we can just pass it along. It'll go to a good home, and that's the best part about it. If you know it's going to a good home, you'll be better off with your thoughts about parting with it, because there's nothing better you can do than to give it another good home. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, to not miss out on future videos. Tons of organization videos are coming very soon as I start to set up my new space. But thank you guys for the overwhelming support on this purging series. It's definitely the biggest spike I've seen in a while in terms of interaction and having fun with you guys along the way. So I do truly, truly appreciate it. And I do hope that we can have that same kind of fun with the organization section that comes. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.